The man coughing blood into his handkerchief was supposed to be a dentist, trained, licensed, legitimate. He had the degree on the wall and the drill in his hand. But patients stopped coming, not because he was bad at dentistry, but because nobody wants a dying man's hands in their mouth. So he traded the drill for a six-shooter and walked into the nearest saloon. Here's the question nobody asks. Was Doc Holliday actually a loyal friend and deadly gunfighter, or just a doomed man who had nothing left to lose? Before we proceed, hit the like button and subscribe for more tales from the Wild West. Here's the version Hollywood sold you. Doc Holliday, silver-tongued, razor-sharp, dressed like a gentleman, loyal to Wyatt Earp until the very end, the consumptive gunfighter who chose honor over survival. It's a great story. It's also mostly constructed after the fact by people who weren't there. Start at the beginning. His birth record's burned in a fire, so even his origin is half myth. What survives is a baptism record from Griffin Presbyterian Church, March 21, 1852. His parents were Henry and Alice Jane Holliday, both of Scottish descent. His father was a lawyer, a planter, a Confederate major, and eventually a mayor. The family had money, land, and standing. Doc grew up inside all of that. He attended the Valdosta Institute, a private school that taught Latin, French, astronomy, history. This wasn't a frontier education. This was a drawing room education built for a man who was supposed to spend his life in polite society. Then 1866 hit. His mother, Alice Jane, died of tuberculosis. Consumption, they called it then. Doc was 15. By all accounts, they were close. And then 3 months later, his father remarried a young war widow. That's 3 months. The rift between father and son never healed. What you get after that is a harder, more bitter version of Doc Holliday, before he ever fires a shot. He goes off to study dentistry, most likely at the Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery in Philadelphia. His cousin Robert Holliday actually founded the school, so the family connection was real. He graduates in 1872 with a legitimate degree alongside 26 other graduates. He apprentices under Dr. Arthur Ford in Atlanta. He's doing everything right. Then the diagnosis. Tuberculosis. Almost certainly contracted from his mother years earlier, latent at first, then impossible to ignore. The fever, the night sweats, the coughing, the blood. His doctors are blunt. Stay in Georgia and you've got maybe 6 months. Go somewhere dry, out west, and you might buy yourself a year or two. So in 1873, Doc packs what he has and heads to Dallas with a death sentence already signed. He partners with a dentist named John Segar on Elm Street. They're good enough to win awards at the 1873 Dallas County Fair. Best set of teeth in gold, best in vulcanized rubber, best set of artificial teeth. For a moment, it almost looks like the plan is working. But the coughing fits don't stop. They happen mid-procedure. Patients notice. They stop coming back. So the dental office quietly becomes a saloon, and Doc fills the income gap with faro. That's where the gentleman dentist myth starts dying. Not in a gunfight, but at a card table in Dallas, Texas, because his own body made the choice for him. That's the man who walks into the next chapter. Not a romantic hero, a trained professional with a terminal diagnosis, mounting debts, and absolutely nothing stopping him from pulling a trigger. January 2nd, 1875. Doc gets into a shootout with a Dallas saloon keeper named Austin. Shots fired. Nobody hit. The Dallas Weekly Herald reports it, and the locals find it kind of funny until a few days later when Doc kills a prominent citizen with 2 carefully placed bullets. Funny stops pretty quickly after that. He runs, Jacksboro, Texas, more gunfights. He kills at least 1 man, a soldier from Fort Richardson, and suddenly the U.S. government is involved. There are warrants. There's a reward. Doc flees through Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming, gambling under the alias Tom Mackey, doing the occasional back alley dentistry that must have terrified people. Fort Griffin, 1877. This is where Wyatt Earp walks through the door of Shancy's saloon. Wyatt is chasing a train robber named Dirty Dave Rudabaugh, 400 miles of trail behind him and nothing to show for it. Shancy points him toward a quiet man in the corner who's been playing cards with Rudabaugh. That man is Doc. Wyatt sits down. Doc tells him Rudabaugh probably doubled back to Kansas. Wyatt sends a message to Dodge City. The tip is correct. Rudabaugh gets caught. This is the moment the legend says their great friendship began. What it actually was is simpler. A transaction. One man had information, the other man needed it. That's where the Earp equation starts, and it's important you understand that because it explains everything that comes after. Around the same time, Doc gets into it with a local bully named Ed Bailey over a card game. Bailey keeps picking up the discarded cards, a serious violation of frontier poker rules. Doc warns him twice. Bailey does it again. Doc takes the pot. Bailey reaches for his gun under the table, and before he can pull it, Doc's knife opens him up across the stomach. Bailey bleeds out on the poker table. Doc surrenders peacefully. Self-defense by frontier law. Tombstone, 1880. By now, Doc is visibly deteriorating, skeletal, coughing constantly, drinking heavily. Wyatt Earp is building something in Tombstone: influence, business interests, law enforcement leverage. And he needs men around him. Specifically, he needs a man with nothing to lose standing close by. Doc fits that description perfectly. October 26, 1881. The gunfight near the OK Corral. 30 seconds. 3 men dead. Billy Clanton and both McClory brothers. Doc likely fires first, killing Tom McClory with a shotgun blast Virgil had handed him. Here's what makes that detail strange. The Dallas Weekly Herald had already reported Doc Holliday's death once before, back in 1879, prematurely. He was always supposed to be dead already. He knew it. Wyatt knew it. March 18th, 1882. Morgan Earp is shot dead while playing pool. Doc rides on the vendetta ride. And yes, there's grief in that, but there's also math. Without the Earps, Doc has no protection, no income, and no identity left in Tombstone. The ride isn't just revenge, it's the only move he has. When Colorado Governor Pitkin refuses Arizona's extradition request in 1882, it's Wyatt's network that makes it happen. Without those connections, Doc rots in a cell or hangs in Tombstone. Then Wyatt leaves, and Doc has nothing. He wanders Leadville, then Glenwood Springs, completely alone. The partnership that defined his last decade simply dissolves, and what's left is a skeletal man with tuberculosis and nowhere to be. His final 57 days are spent mostly delirious in a hotel bed. On November 8, 1887, he wakes up clear-headed, asks for a glass of whiskey, drinks it, looks at his bare feet, and says, "This is funny." Then he dies, not in a gunfight, in bed, which he always assumed would never happen. Doc Holliday didn't survive because he was loyal. He survived because he was useful, and he knew it. The Gentleman Gunfighter is a story that made everyone comfortable with a man who was actually terrifying to be around. Subscribe to Gunslinger Gazette and watch this next, because the Wild West your history teacher described and the one that actually happened are two very different places.